Right, we are walking back from the Qarabag match in Baku, and listen, 2-2 in the end. Not the best result, if we're being honest, but those of you who watched the game who were listening to this, I think that we could say that it was a fair point. I think you could actually argue that Qarabag deserved to win the game. They had a couple of fantastic chances. Not to say that we didn't have chances as well, we certainly did. But we were so poor in the first half. We did make up for that a little bit more in the second half. We were more dominant. But defensively, we were just all over the shop. I mean, Cucurella was probably the best of a bad bunch. I don't think Cucurella had a terrible game, to be fair. But I thought Tosin was poor. I thought Hato was poor, giving away the goal with the penalty. And I thought Reece James was poor, to be honest with you. I've seen Reece James do a lot better, and someone said to me after, he was a bit tentative coming over and clapping the fans. I thought, well, he didn't have a good game by his standards. So maybe he was a bit annoyed about that. Obviously, the fact that we didn't win the game as well. But I don't want to look at the negatives too much, because we came back and we got a solid point. But, I mean, I've come all the way to Azerbaijan. It took me 9 hours to get here with connecting flights from Hungary. And a lot of Chelsea fans that travelled will agree with me on this. You don't come here expecting to get anything less than a win. It's got to be a win. And it's very disappointing in that sense. But have I learned anything from today? Absolutely. I've learned that without a competent defence, we are just pathetic. That is going to be our downfall this season, is our inability to be able to defend. And I will say that Tosin's a player that I've really enjoyed watching last season. And I've backed him up. I've said in the past how much I like him because he's available if we're having the debate against Fana. But all in all, he's just been rubbish. So for me, Tosin needs to get dropped, and this is a real wake-up call. I mean, every game that goes by makes me realise how desperate we are for a centre-back. Not to mention, actually, when we look at the midfield, Lavia came off so early and Caicedo had to warm up and come on. I don't think he had a great first half. Again, like everyone, improved in the second half, mostly. But, that could be an issue for us if Lavia isn't available. Caicedo being forced to play a match he really shouldn't have had to have played. It would have been nice to rest. And then I'll be intrigued to see if we do something similar against Wolves in terms of playing him in the midfield. And up top, we had Tyreek George. Never a striker. I don't even need to rip into the guy. He's not good enough. Let's just leave it at that, shall we? I mean, poor link up. He's got a good shot on him at times, but it's like, come on, mate. And that's Maresca, really, I'm talking to. Why'd you start the guy? But the lad came on and made a great impact, got the assist for Garnacho. I think unless there was a deflection off of a defender or something, created a couple of other good chances. Should have had a goal himself. A lot of people criticised the lad. They go, oh, he's not good enough for Chelsea, his discipline's an issue. It makes me uncomfortable when he pushes into defenders. What do you want him to do? Give him a kiss? Do you want him to give them a hug? It's all going to be okay. I want a striker who's going to go up to a defender and give him a little bit. And that is what Delat does. And he deserves, obviously, the criticism that he had the other day when he got his red card. But that does not take away from the qualities that he possesses. And he was a big part in us getting a point today. Very, very happy with the impact of Delat. I don't think he's going to be able to start against Wolves, which is a shame. But listen, I want to see people get off Delat's back and start backing the guy, because I think since he's come in, he's been a player that I've enjoyed watching basically every week. He's had better games than he's had some good games. He's had some bad games, but all in all, I see an upgrade on what we had with Jackson. That's just my personal opinion. Whether we see that in GA, that remains to be seen. The midfield was fine in the second half when Fernandes came on. I mean, Santos got the assist, I think, for Esteval's goal as well, which was a well-taken goal. As was Garnacho's. To be fair, when Garnacho come on, it's another player who constantly gets criticised by Chelsea fans, a player that I've defended. I mean, I defended us signing Garnacho in the first place. I said 40 million was a fair price tag. Now, nobody's saying this guy is going to be the man for Chelsea. You know, he's not the next Eden Hazard. He's not going to win us a league title. I don't think we're working with that type of talent. But he came on and he got his goal. He got his goal. And people will then go, oh, but he gives the ball away. Or that left-footed shot when he tried to shoot on his left foot and it went out for a throw. And I thought, Jesus Christ. I'm just going to pretend I shut my eyes for that one. But Garnacho, he has something to offer this team. And I think people need to try and appreciate that type of player more, because he is different to Jamie Gittins and he gives you a different option. And, I like Pedro Neto, but, if I'm looking for GL, I don't think Pedro Neto is the man to call up right now. Even though I think he's had a few strains after the last game. So not sure if he'll be playing against Wolves. But, yeah, big up to Garnacho. Credit to the man. And credit to Esteval, of course. Very, very exciting to watch, especially in that second half, lifting up the away crowd and trying to take on players, but ultimately it didn't come off at the end, not quite. And I think that there's a good chance, well, there's certainly a couple of chances for us to finish our dinner, but they should have scored a third goal as well. So I'm not going to sit here and complain that we got a draw, because just off the back of that, I would have said that we deserved to lose. Robert Sanchez, pretty meaty in terms of distribution. I don't think this was his best game. Not really an awful lot more to say apart from that. Credit to Enzo Maresca for the second half, making 3 changes at half time. That's something we were talking about. We were saying, he's not going to do it because he's always stubborn. That's what people were saying to me, but he did it. And he's shown to be very stubborn at times, but he's also shown that he can adapt. And if he doesn't make those changes, then we lose that game. So, as much as that doesn't make the first half acceptable, at least you can say we rectified the situation somewhat. And in terms of the away crowd, big up to everyone that travelled out there in Azerbaijan. It's different out here, but it's not an easy place to get to, and I think everyone deserves credit. If you know anyone that got out there, then they deserve some respect, or at least a pint when you meet them at another game. It wasn't cheap to get here, but actually once you're here, it's fine. Pints are really cheap. Everything's pretty cushy. I thought the home fans were brilliant, absolutely exceptional. Usually when you come to these eastern grounds, the fans, they're not particularly creative. And let's not sit here and act like we're going to hear anything that's revolutionary in terms of chants. It was Qarabag, Qarabag. But you know what? The enthusiasm alone was enough for me to go fair play, because they were very, very supportive fans. And yeah, I think the atmosphere right at the end as well just shows that they were backing their team the whole way. Maybe this is a lesson for us to learn at Stamford Bridge, that if you do support your players, they will show up for you. Even if you're losing a game, there is no reason to stop. And there's no reason to be silent in the stands. We're all guilty of it at times when we concede a goal and we start moaning. But if you support that team, they will find a way to use that support to egg them on. And I think, yeah, I think the Qarabag fans were fantastic, to be fair. So all in all, I think it's a disappointing result in terms of the fact that we didn't win, but I think it was a good point in the sense that we probably deserved to lose the game. So, I mean, if I was going to rank that performance as a whole out of 10, I'd probably give it a 5. It was pretty average. Terrible first half. Probably the worst half of football I've seen this season. Close to Wolves, maybe. Just pathetic. But then we changed things and we got better. I think Enzo Fernandez made a good impact. I forgot to speak about Enzo Fernandez. Like, he's also a player that gets stick, but he was right in amongst it. I thought he was going to get a goal as well. But yeah, back to England now, or tomorrow at least. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you think I've got anything wrong, or if you agree with anything that I've said, and we will catch up very, very soon.